So they've just released footage of the body cam of the officers from the event that happened back in February in Jacksonville, and I want to take a look at this. This is in the ABC News. I had not actually seen this video. This is wild, and I did not realize that this happened like 4 months ago. But it's now being more evidence is coming out. I thought it was almost AI generated when I first saw this. When I came across this, I didn't think it was real. This black man, he'd been stopped. He's obviously resisting officers, and but did they use excessive force? I wanted to take a look at this.
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it. Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here. I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right.
Get on the ground.
No, don't.
Get on the ground.
We don't know what.
Whoa! So that is wild. I cannot believe that happened. I had not seen that. I know this is if it's been out this long, but I guess we're getting kind of used to it. Or this is at least what we're fed, that black men are always being stopped and they're always being beaten by white officers. You obviously can see that not all the officers were white right there, but it just plays into this whole race card game. But it's still an actual event of what happened. It's still absolutely wild that actually went down. But I want to go through this article from ABC News. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters released body cam footage of the violent arrest of William Anthony McNeil Jr., a 22-year-old black man, after a cell phone video capturing part of the incident went viral on social media. The video shows sheriff's deputies beating and punching McNeil during a traffic stop after he repeatedly questioned why he was being pulled over and refused to exit his vehicle in an incident that occurred on February 19th of this year, 2025. Waters said that the state attorney's office has determined that none of the involved officers violated criminal law, but highlighted that the deputies' actions are now being examined in an administrative review, which will determine if the deputies violated JSO policy. He also identified the deputy who broke the car window and punched McNeil as Officer D. Bowers. These administrative reviews are ongoing, but the state attorney's office has determined that none of the involved officers violated criminal law, even though the administrative review has yet to be completed, Waters said. Pending the outcome of this administrative review, Officer Bowers has been stripped of his law enforcement authority, Waters said. It is unclear if other deputies involved in the arrest have been placed on administrative leave. ABC News has reached out to the JSO and the Florida State Attorney's Office for further comment. So that right there is absolutely crazy, and there's so many different angles, there's so many different ways you can look at this of what went down, what happened. So imagine you're a police officer. And when I first saw it, I just saw the guy breaking in and punching through, and I thought it was AI generated. I did not actually think that was real, because the guy is just standing there. He gets punched and he just shows his hands. He's obviously resisting. He's not complying with what the officers are saying. But it did seem like the guy, whoever threw the punch, that was maybe a little excessive. To do that. Was that necessary? When I first saw it, I was thinking like, oh, they're coming up, because imagine you're a police officer walking up to a car. You don't know what's inside there. You don't know if you're going to have a gun pulled on you or what. But these guys, they're out there. They're negotiating with him. They're talking with him. He's resisting them. I don't know if they just don't realize that they got a camera on them from inside the vehicle, but police officers now know that they always have a camera on them. Everything that they do is being hyper scrutinized. I think that's the word I was going for. But like, so they obviously know eyes are on them constantly with anything that happens. But what this guy did, he was not going with what the police officers were saying. He was not obeying what they were telling him to do, which police officers, they are representing the law of the United States. So it's like, if you say you don't want to comply with just what this person's doing, because I get that, I'm not all in like back the blue 100%. I'm not like that. And I know there are a lot of like conservatives out there that are for that, because I know that the police in an instant will turn, if things aren't going well for them, they are the ones that will flip in an instant. They will be the ones that they're not loyal a lot of times to the best well-being of everybody out there. They're going to go with the government. If the government tells them to do something, they're going to just completely lockstep do that. There will be people that kind of don't align perfectly with that, and they might resist and try to stand for what's right. If the government say it tries to lock down everyone, tries to just use excessive force, tries to maybe come and strip everybody's guns away, only a few brave officers out there are going to stand up and what's for right. Because you can see anybody in any place and time in history, those people that have the authority, they'll easily go with it, because if it costs them their pension, their jobs, their just their way of life, they're going to go with what is convenient a lot of times for them. If it costs sacrificing their retirement fund or sacrificing their authority, a lot of times I've just seen that they don't do that. They kind of just give in and they go with whatever the higher ups say. The government says this, do this. Sure, well, I'm a police officer. I got to do what I got to do. You know, I got to feed my family. I got to do whatever that. And when it's not always 100% right. So I know there is always this narrative that black people are always being just punished by the white officers, but that's not always the case. And I think people go a little bit too far on that. You know, there is some of that. There might be racial undertones about it, but these guys, it's not just a flare up, a quick momentary reaction. This guy, whoever is out there, has well thought this through. He knows cameras are on him, and he's given the order, and he just punches through and he punches the guy. I don't know why he punched the guy, why he went that, and that's why that officer has been let go. He's on leave right now as they look into this and try to get a better idea of what actually happened. But there's so much going on here on all sides. And it does seem like there was brutality here, at least by that guy. When the other officers pulling him out, you know, you got to do what you got to do. And these guys are putting their lives on the line all the time. I mean, they're going up and every day that they go out, it could be their last, you know? And so, and any car that they walk up to, it could be their last. So they always have to have this hyper vigilance. And then it's like their emotions probably their skyrocket whenever they're in the heat of it. This just seemed like it's like you're given the order to punch through and to pull the guy out, but it's like, why'd you have to punch the guy? I mean, did he think that he was going to do something when he was punching through there? He doesn't know exactly what's on the other side, so I get that, but it's either way. I'm not on either side about just like oh, I'm 100% the police are always right. They're always doing the right thing, which I completely don't agree with that. That is not it at all. And they will turn their back on the whole fabric and society of life if it costs them their lifestyle of having of being a police officer, of having power, of having a way to provide for their family. And it's not always the case. Everybody's different, and it's not blanket all across. But it seems like they will flip, and they will go with whatever the winds and the. We just saw it in COVID. We saw it in COVID that the officers were the quickest ones to just we're going to obey the state. We're going to do what the state says, and we're going to just shut down everything. Whereas it's like, really, was that absolutely necessary? And they're called to obey orders, and I guess that's what they do, and that's their way of their get out of jail free card, that we're obeying someone. You know, that it's just, it goes with any authority position, you know, and anything can devolve into the best officers in the world can go their morals can completely be compromised if they just give in to whatever the current society and culture is, and their higher ups are telling them. So that, I think, but we're going to find out more about this. This is pretty wild. I mean, it seems like it's nonstop. Stuff is always happening. So, but more will come out, I'm sure. All right. Follow me on X and Instagram, and have a great day, everyone. Peace.
I could see the cracks form in the paint, growing like a fire. What do I say? Can you see them?